Hello there, it's Jules here from the Cape, and let's have another discussion today from an old white male, those at the lowest, bottommost end of the rung of society nowadays. Who wants to hear another discussion from an old white male? It's the last thing that has any attraction in this day and age. First of all, old. I mean, those who are old are just useless eaters, just demanding pensions and requiring pensions from the state, which has run out of pension funds, which has maybe misappropriated those pension funds. And because the demographic is changing and there are now more pensioners who are living longer who require those pension funds monthly, and yet there are less young people being born to fill the workforce, then that pension fund Ponzi scheme can't really support itself anymore because there aren't enough workers paying into it to support all those old people still around, those useless eaters. Eventually, the pension fund can collapse, and in a heartbeat, within a few days of that pension fund collapsing, whether it's the SASA grant or whether it's some other kind of pension fund that's keeping so many people alive in their old age, all these useless eaters, certainly that can cause chaos at the drop of a hat. And so, who wants to hear from all these old people? Oh, let's get rid of them, those certain eugenicists and so on might say. New technology coming out all the time about these kind of things. These old people, just go to Canada. There you can have made, medically assisted, deceased process, if you like. So there you go, euthanasia of sorts. It's already legal in certain countries, Canada and others, I'm sure. So this is the society we're in nowadays. No one appreciates old people anymore. What to speak of white? Even worse. The worst demographic on the planet at this stage. Those are the ones that they're far too opinionated. They're way too opinionated. Those white folk, and think they know it all. That's the problem with them. They know it all, and they know it all. But that's the thing. That's not all. There's so much more to know, and who knows really. So these white people, oh no, there's way too many of them, and they're hard to control. I mean, they're independent. They're far too independent, and they just loud, and they make a nuisance of themselves, and they question more, and they find out what's going on, and that's the problem with them. They're not docile enough. So no, we don't need those white people around. That demographic, oh no, that's so last century. They had their time. Now it's the time of the East. Rising sun from the East. Anyway, besides all that, white people, no one wants to hear from them anymore. Oh, and men, what to speak of men? Oh my goodness, no, there's no room for men anymore in this day and age. Patriarchal society is so last century. We've had so much of men. Good heavens, no. Especially in this country. I mean, South Africa is just outrageous. The gender-based violence is really just off the charts. At least there aren't any grooming gangs and those kind of things that you find more fashionable in other European and British towns. But nevertheless, gender-based violence is something that needs to be addressed. So men, they've already outstayed their welcome and they've outdone themselves, it seems, in this day and age. So to hear from someone like an old white male, it's just so last century. Other than that, there is a lot that can be done because the elderly have been around, and they have a history and a legacy of time in the past, especially in this country, where experiences may have served as very valuable and can be shared. And there's so much that can be learned and shared from old people, whatever their gender, because at the end of the day, it's the human race. And if you study society, you can see that throughout history, all men have been brutal, regardless of their color. And as men and as human beings, all human beings, regardless of color, have had the same experiences. We're all receiving the same experience under the sun. The sun shines on all of us. So, so it's a beautiful experience for all of us here in society. And in that way, all human beings really are equal under the sun. And we have our birthright here regardless of our gender and regardless of our race, color, or creed. As fellow human beings in this land of birth of ours, we really have a lot to share and learn with each other. So we should try to harness the best out of everyone and engage everyone according to their capacity. And that's how we make a successful society. And if you want to hear more from this old white man, then in coming days we'll share a little more insights about the way forward in this our beautiful country of South Africa and this our beautiful world with our fellow human beings as we all shine brightly together. So from Jules Cape, this is another fond farewell until next time, signing out.